Hi there, your faithful viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's 6 p.m. in Kumba. It is time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Our major stories right away. In this edition, we will take you to the southwest region, precisely in Bongeng and Dian Division, where the locals complain that the deplorable state of the roads in the area makes life very unbearable, especially with the hike in the prices of foodstuff and other goods of basic necessities. We take you to Bongeng in this news edition. Plus, how is Barrister Richard Tamfu faring after he was manhandled by some gendarmes a while ago here in the economic capital Douala? Our reporters met with the legal mind in Boya, and we will be telling you more in this edition. Those are our major stories. Details in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. Barrister Richard Tamfu is in somehow good form and determines to pursue justice after the brutality that was exerted on him by some gendarmerie officials here in the economic capital Douala some time ago. When we met the legal mind 2 weeks after the incident that was today in Boya, he says the gendarmerie has been contradictory in its position over what he suffered, thus delaying justice for him, confirming that he is physically and morally upright somehow. Barrister Tamfu Richard says he will never give up in the defense of the law through his legal profession. For me, Armstrong Sanda tells us more.
Tuesday, November 27, 2024, gendarmerie brutality on Barrister Tamfu Richard has not broken his physique, his morale, nor his determination to seek justice.
My mindset is that of continuing the case because I decided to file an action against these gendarmes before the court, and I'm looking forward to pursuing the case up to the point that justice will be served on me. I'm strong and I'm fit to continue my job as a lawyer. I know it is very challenging, but I will never give up.
On the current state of affairs, Barrister Tamfu Richard re-echoed his view and that of the Cameroon Bar Council recently expressed that the gendarmerie cannot be a party and a judge in the same matter.
From the report that has been made public, it appears that instead I'm the one who is being charged. So to me, it comes in contradiction with what was presented to me on the first day as excuses. So I had even doubted the process already from the beginning, because how do you explain that the gendarmes who brutalized me, who tortured me, are the ones carrying out the investigation? So it appears there are a judge and a party in the same case. So after the report of the gendarmerie, that the bar now saw it wise that it had to observe that the gendarmes who perpetrated the brutality on me could not still be the same gendarmes who are carrying out the investigation, whereas this is something that ought to have been done since from the beginning.
The gendarmerie report, according to him, further contradicts its initial manifested position on the matter through the voice of the Littoral Gendarmerie Legion commander.
Well, the day of the incident, that was on the 27th, which was Wednesday. In the evening, I received the visit of the Commander Legion of Douala, who came and presented to me the excuses of the National Gendarmerie.
The legal mind, however, reassures that he is physically and morally upright despite the torture. He applauds the love and support received from his friends, colleagues and family members during and after the unfortunate incident. He is more than ever determined to defend his client despite the incident.
Now let's take you to the BLM division in the southwest region, which has been grappling with underdevelopment as the war continues in the northwest and the southwest regions. The #1 predicament of the people of Wabane, the Wabane subdivision in the BLM division, has been that of bad roads. The topography of the area, comprising of hills and valleys, has made road construction really difficult in the area, something the Wabane Council is finding hard to deal with alone. In the report which comes up next, our reporter Rex Afon takes us through the ordeals of the people of Wabane in the BLM division.
This is Mount Maga. It is one of many treasures hidden between these hills and valleys in the Wabane municipality. Unfortunately, accessing these tourist sites has become a daunting task.
Then, especially for rainy season, way not your day. But the road network is a major challenge for the entire municipality. We need to discipline it. And to do it is not with little money. You have seen it yourself. You need heavy, you need road construction. If we have to be fine, road construction and bridges. There are bridges we cannot cross in the rainy season. You saw that you cross some of the small streams on the road. In the rainy season, it's terrible.
The topography of this area has made road construction to be very difficult, something the Wabane Council alone is finding very hard to handle.
The natural factors make it difficult for us to open roads, as you have seen. You have seen the kind of valleys and so on and around, so that we have to carry our road through. It becomes very difficult. Just look at the electricity we have here. You can imagine the cost of transportation of a pole from, let's say, Bangante or Santa to Wabani. You have seen the road yourself. So those are the natural challenges. So it makes the cost of the work in Wabane to be a little bit expensive.
Security-wise, Wabane subdivision is relatively calm now. This is why caterpillars can now be seen trying to give some parts of the road first aid treatment.
Wabane subdivision is relatively calm. You can see it yourselves. The population goes about their daily activities unperturbed.
Wabane subdivision has 8 fondoms with over 40 villages. Most of these villages can only be accessed by foot.
Thank you, Rex. Now let's talk health. Are you aware that buying sunglasses and in the streets and wearing them can be very detrimental to your eyes and your sight? Opticians caution parents against the buying of any kind of sunglasses or contact lenses for their children suffering from visual or eye diseases, noting they are rather to help or to heal or lead the child into blindness. They urge parents and adults patients to purchase glasses and contact lenses only from recognized opticians, while noting that the situation of albinos is more delicate and also very complicated. Innocent Azza spoke with some opticians today and tells us more.
Millions of children in Cameroon are exposed to eye diseases, which could result in complete blindness if appropriate actions are not taken.
Children are a feature of tomorrow, and so if a child has no vision from the eye, that child is completely lost.
According to opticians and other visual health promotion stakeholders, carelessness and procurement of risk glasses and contact lenses by parents help to accelerate deterioration of vision, particularly in the child.
It is not normal to go by the road and pick anything and wear. You instead destroy your eye. Many children, when they see people wearing glasses, they think that it is necessary to put on glasses. It is not good. We specify on children because the children need to know what they have to put on their eye, because it's very important.
Parents are urged to desist from affording risk lenses for their children and neglecting their visual health.
The health of a child, often neglected. We think that we can advise parents to take part in this eye care health. When they notice any dysfunction on eye vision, they can carry the child to the ophthalmologist to screen and then make the right solution.
The optician is the best person to give what is necessary for a child.
During the first Medical Optics Congress in Cameroon that held in Douala, opticians laid emphasis on albino children.
Albinos from origin have their own system. Their genes are not the same, so they lack a lot of melanin. Their vision from birth is originally very low. It's a special case. Even with ophthalmologists, optometrists, we need a special study with them to improve their vision.
These eye specialists from the National Opticians Board of Cameroon say though tough to handle visual problems associated with albinos, they work relentlessly to provide solutions and appropriate glasses for this vulnerable group of persons in society.
And Tabe Ernest Fongo, who is a recognized optician, elaborates on why the case of albinos is very critical and requires continuous research to find a definite solution to the problems of visual impairment faced by albinos. Let's listen to him in this excerpt.
low quality of medical lenses to them is going to send them to blindness. That is, removing them from, let's say, from light to darkness. So, since most of them are hyperopic, their crystalline is not functioning normally. Due to that, special studies have been made with quality lenses because they are sensitive to light apart from their eye defect. So studies have proven that we need special case. We need special quality of lenses. Not only albinos, but their own case is specialized. And with evolution, no major solution has been found to resolve this issue. So we sensitize Cameroonians that being albinos or being a normal citizen, we have to avoid clandestine glasses. We have to avoid road glasses. We have to go to specialists. As earlier said, we opticians are on role. When we receive such a patient, we have to dictate. Is it a case we can handle? If this is a case, we have to refer to a specialist, to an ophthalmologist. From ophthalmologists, they send back to us with cooperation with what has been prescribed. We have to look for the best so as to maintain or to ameliorate their vision. Because the eyes is the center of life. With no vision, you are a dead man.
In other news, maritime sector professionals are pushing for the enhancement of the service digitalization drive to solve the problems of delays, inefficiency, and low competitiveness maritime transport facilities in Cameroon face. Female professionals in the sector converged on Douala that was yesterday to upgrade their skills and competence given the imminent digital era in the sector in Cameroon. Babila Jonathan was there. He now reports.
The maritime industry is the lifeblood of global trade, with ships carrying over 90% of all merchandise trade and the global logistics market accounting for 8 to 12% of the gross domestic product. In Cameroon and other African nations, the efficiency, competitiveness and productivity of the maritime sector are watered down by a slow digitalization process.
It is slow also because we are in Africa. We have unemployment, and you know that if we go in this process of digitalization, whether we want it or not, there are some workers, some specific workers who will be put aside because they may not need them anymore, because manually things will be like automatic, and we use the artificial intelligence that you know, and we are going to reduce workers. But digitalization will also create work, and new workers will come out.
Findings of Umema Buriba, an economist at the Policy Center for the New South, show that Cameroon's digital transformation of the maritime market is expected to grow between 2023 and 2029. Experts say digitalization is no longer an option, but a necessity for the maritime industry to enhance operational efficiency, safety, productivity and competitiveness. In anticipation of this development, the Network for Professional Women in the Maritime and Port sectors of Cameroon is building the digital capacity. The digital capacity of these women working in the different ports and other maritime facilities in the country.
We want them to be, of course, ahead of time, competent on this digitalization process, because whether we rock it or not, it will come down. So when it will be, then women will be already there. We may not be the majority for the 10 years coming, but at least we want it not to be anymore a male domain. Women should have their own place.
They are going from secondary to higher institutions of learning, canvassing for an increase in the number of female professionals in the maritime sector in Cameroon.
Now we take you to Mbonke in the Meme division of the Southwest region, where the people are grappling with several challenges on a daily basis, especially as the war continues. They include economic hardship, inadequate infrastructure and health concerns. As these issues persist, authorities, councillors converge to discuss and adopt a budget for the 2025 year aimed at addressing these pressing needs and enhance the quality of life for its citizens. Let's now have the details with Lucidiengo is here. She takes us to Mbonge.
The people of Mbonge in the Meme Division, Southwest Region, continue to face numerous challenges affecting their daily lives and development. These difficulties include lack of farm-to-market roads, dilapidated social structures, lack of potable water, among others.
Deliberation and adoption of the 2025 Mbonge Council draft budget today, 11 December 2024.
The problems were tabled during the Mbonge Municipal Council session dedicated to voting and adoption of the 2025 budget.
At a sum of 1,211,900,910 francs in revenue and expenditure. It should be noted that the 2025 budget has witnessed a slight increase of 56,795,910 francs, with a percentage of 4.7 as compared to the 2024 budget.
Their focus for the year 2025 is on road projects.
We start preparing our materials for tender now, so that by February, the tender files are already examined and awarded. In March, we do transportation. We go in for contractors who are viable.
In line with the recent cases of monkeypox in Mbonge, the participants stressed on the importance for the population to be vigilant and the Hygiene and Sanitation Department of the Council to educate the public about safe food practices. Representing the Senior Divisional Officer of the Meme Division, the Divisional Officer of Mbonge praised Memo Kambe and his team for the realization of earmarked projects in the year 2024, encouraging them to focus on projects that will benefit the local community. He equally urged councillors to be ambassadors of peace in their respective villages and communities.
In foreign news, more than 100 people have been killed by security forces. That was in the nearly 2 months post-election protests in Mozambique, and to France, where Francois Bayrou, 73-year-old, has been appointed as Prime Minister of the country, that's France, after the dismissal of Michel Barnier. Our foreign page roundup with Cedric Chakutu.
More than 100 people, including children, have been killed by security forces during nearly 2-month-old post-election protests in Mozambique. The main opposition leader called for more protests on Thursday against what he said was a rigged vote by the ruling party. The Southern African country, which suffered a 15-year civil war from 1977 to 1992, has been gripped by unrest and street protests since 2 prominent opposition figures were killed in their car by unknown gunmen on October 18th. The killings, which their party has called political assassinations, have heightened tensions following the disputed October 9 presidential election. Thousands took to the streets to protest against the Frelimo party, which has ruled Mozambique for nearly half a century. Elsewhere in Zimbabwe, the Senate of Zimbabwe has approved legislation to abolish the death penalty, a crucial step towards eliminating a law that has not been appealed in nearly 20 years. The death penalty will be abolished once the president signs it, which is anticipated. Zimbabwe has utilized hanging as its execution method, with the last execution taking place in 2005, partly due to a shortage of individuals willing to take on the role of executioner. President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who has led the country since 2017, has vowed his opposition to capital punishment, sharing his own experience of being sentenced to death during the Independence War, a sentence later commuted to 10 years. And in France, French President Emmanuel Macron named his centrist ally Francois Bayrou as Prime Minister. The appointment comes after tortuous consultations to find a successor to Michel Barnier, who was ousted by a historic motion of censure last week. Francois Bayrou finally manages at 73-year-old to play the leading role alongside Emmanuel Macron, whose election to the Élysée he had greatly contributed to.
Now let's talk sports. The Confederation of African Football CAF has disclosed the final list of players, clubs and coaches to be voted for the CAF award. Amongst the nominees is Cameroon's goalkeeper Andrew Nana, shortlisted for the Best Goalkeeper Award. What are the chances of Andrew Nana in this year's CAF award? KINANG Derick spoke with our consultant Emin Mai and he puts together this report for the news.
Goalkeepers, amongst them Andrew Nana of Cameroon, Yaya Fofana of Cote d'Ivoire and Rowan Williams of South Africa will be contending for the African Best Goalkeeper Award of 2024. According to Equinoxe media consultant, though Andrew Nana is doing well for his club, the poor outing of the indomitable Lions at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire is a trap. We missed out prematurely during the AFCON. This makes the chances of Andrew Nana slim enough to challenge Rowan Williams, voted as the best goalkeeper during the competition. He is also amongst the 3 shortlisted for the top award. The performance of Rowan Williams made his country, South Africa, to finish 3rd in the last AFCON. For our consultant, Rowan Williams is favourite to be crowned as Africa's best goalkeeper. Rowan Williams' performance at the AFCON makes him favourite. Not saying that what Andrew Nana is doing isn't good, but CAF is more concerned about the player's continental performance. Andrew Nana is also good for his club side, Manchester United. The final shortlist of Africa's best player includes Simon Adingra of Cote d'Ivoire, Shehu Gurasi of Guinea, Ashraf Hakimi of Morocco, Ademola Lookman of Nigeria and Rowan Williams of South Africa. It's going to be tough at this level, but CAF is now awarding the output at the continental level, and apart from the collective and individual performances, the image of the player and his fair play attitude will count. We have a great competition ahead. Other awards at the CAF event include Best National Teams of the Year in the women's and men's categories, best coaches in the women's and men's categories, alongside best young players of the year, as well as awards for players in the continent. The CAF award comes up at the Palais de Congrès of Marrakech, Morocco, this Monday.
And so that was it for the first part of the news. Let's now move on to talking points. Our guest tonight is KINANG Derick FAI. He is a jurist. Dr. Derick, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. Now, for close to 5 days or more, we have had to see Minister Paula Tanganji of Territorial Administration order the shutting down of some civil society organizations and also NGOs. We have to continue talking about it because they are fighting for the rights of the vulnerable population. As a jurist that you are, and also a doctor, don't you see that as sealing the lips of those who insist that human rights should be respected in the country?
The decision of Minister Tanganji, whether it is that which is coming to silence the civil society, especially those that are fighting for human rights, or not, I am part of those who strongly believe, yes, one can read it from that perspective, that the decision of the minister is a one that has come to somehow silence some civil society actors that are very critical of the system. And from a civil society perspective, 2 or more factors push me to say so. One, you want to look at our context. We are living in a context in which elections are around the corner. We are living in a context in which the Commission for Torture is putting Cameroon on the accusing bench. We are living in a context in which many organizations are seeing Cameroon more and more as a country in which there is a violation of human rights. And these organizations, or these international organizations, they base their analysis from reports coming from NGOs that are based in the country. And one can want to say that this is a kind of a move to like a kind of strike back these organizations in the civil society space that, in my opinion, most often do not go the way the government would like them to go, or do not say the things that they are expected to say. So one can be tempted from a civil society perspective to say, for sure, this is a decision that is coming at a point in time to point hands or to hit hand on the desk and ask civil society organizations that you better shut up or I shut it up for you.
And now, Dr. Kinang, the head of one of the NGOs which was sealed, Barrister Alice Kam of Redact, took off the seal. We already know that from her office, and even refused to answer presence to the SEO summons. She has been summoned for the second time. That would be on Monday. She says the office was sealed without any authorization, and she couldn't attend to the SEO summons because the latter sent it through a local chief. Can she be legally on the right path, or can we say she's taking the laws into her hands?
Whether the decision of Maitre Alice Kam or the action she took is a one that can be accepted by law or not, I want to say it's a 50-50 kind of thing. That is the reason why we have the judiciary as another arm of the government. It's something that one cannot say for sure whether her action were right or wrong by law, because I think she based her action on two existing legal principles. There is a one that gives you the right at times to engage in such activities, but there is another legal principle that permits us or asks us not to take the law onto our hands. So it is based on the decision of a competent authority that one can say for sure whether Maitre Alice Kam was right or wrong. But if I should give a 1 cent contribution to that, I want to draw our attention to the fact that the society is not only governed by law. That is the reason why we have morals. That is the reason why we have ethics. That is the reason why we have even what is known in the political jargon as legitimacy. At times something can be illegal, but it is legitimate, or legal, but illegitimate. So I want to strongly believe Maitre Alice Kam, personally, from my own point of view, acted as an individual that has sensed danger coming and is taking necessary steps to ensure that she put an end to the danger, which is the illegality of the action that was posed by the SDO for Wuri.
Now, Doctor, concerning the financing of NGOs in Cameroon, according to Minister Paula Tanganji, public opinions have it that the minister seems to be overzealous. He speaks for the Justice Minister, for the Finance Minister, and even for the Minister of Labour. Isn't he overdoing it, or do you think Minister Paula Tanganji is on his lane?
Draw our attention to the fact that he is the Minister of Interior who is in charge of our security, and by so doing at times it gives him the prerogatives or the power to do certain things. And I think I'm right to think he is the permanent secretary for security. That makes him to be like a man of all weather, if you can permit me use that word. But one can be tempted to say he is somehow zealous, because when you look at the fact that though he is acting incompetent, but the procedure and the approach, in my opinion, is that which makes it at times very difficult for one to side with territorial administration. The procedure, for example, personally, I find it very difficult. There are better ways through which we can handle such things. That is the reason why I think in Cameroon we've always spoken about dialogue. We've always spoken about the way we go about things towards fellow individuals. You might be right in your decision, but the approach is not the best. I strongly believe if Minat would have taken steps to call these organizations to come, explain themselves, provide justifications, and at the end of that, if they feel like these organizations are not right, they could now go ahead to sanction them, or even send some kind of signals to warn them beforehand. Before taking an action like the one they did, one will say he is not acting zealous.
Thank you so much, Dr. KINANG Derick FAI, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. You were talking to us from Yaoundé and hope to have you some other time, Doctor. Viewers, we thank you so much for being with us. That was what we put together for you on the news tonight. Don't go away. Our programs continue today, Friday. Equinoxe comes up at 7 p.m. That will be in about 30 minutes, and the news in the French language will be yours at 8 p.m. Have a blessed weekend and stay with us on Equinoxe Television. Bye-bye for now.